woman is behind bars accused of making threats to an insurance company over the phone. The FBI says 42-year-old Brianna Boston used the phrase delay, deny, and depose in an outburst while speaking with a Blue Cross Blue Shield agent.
Yeah, this is similar to the phrase police found on evidence at the scene of the insurance CEO's murder in Tampa Bay. Zaduria Jumba live with us in studio this evening. Tell us what we've learned so far.
So those words found last week on the bullet casing in Brian Thompson's murder, and they're considered very serious. Now, tonight, Brianna Boston is learning a hard lesson after investigators say she used those very exact words during a phone call. Now, according to an affidavit from Lakeland police, Boston made the threats on December 10 after being denied medical insurance claims. Now, the document quotes Boston as saying, delay, deny, depose. You people are next. To an agent on the phone just before the call ended.
What?
Blue Cross and Blue Shield was alerted, or rather alerted the FBI. They in turn contacted Lakeland police, and Boston was subsequently arrested.
I see here. She is written threat to kill or injure, conduct mass shooting, or an act of terrorism. Now, just looking at that, I honestly don't think she's going to get convicted of this charge. If I was on the jury, I would not convict her. To threaten someone, you have to have, first, criminal intent to actually threaten them.
Yeah.
That you actually are trying to threaten them. I understand that they're trying to prove a point, but clearly they're reaching. They're overcharging. Because you're going to have, I mean, there's probable cause to, I guess, believe that she's trying to threaten them, which is why they arrested her. But to actually convict her of this crime, certainly you're going to have to prove criminal intent to threaten her, to threaten them. And there are ways in which you could say that phrase in connection with a denial of your own, a discussion of a denial of your own coverage for your health insurance and not be threatening someone, right? Because where did the kid who wrote that shit on the bullets, where did he get that? He didn't make it up.
Right.
I think it's from a book or something like that. It's from a famous book that I guess goes into insurance companies' policy in defending cases. So that phrase exists either in insurance company policy language or in a prior book or both.
Yes.
So just because the most recent use of that was in a murder doesn't necessarily mean that her saying that means that she's threatening to kill you. Because you can't vaguely threaten people. You have to threaten to do something specific to them at a specific time and place, sort of. More or less.
Because I was going to ask, but the following sentence is "you're next."
I know, that's what the point I was getting to. It's like, just those words alone don't necessarily mean that she's going to now carry out a shooting. And a shooting against who?
True.
Right? Because the CEO got shot, but she wasn't on the phone with the CEO.
Right.
So who are we talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Ultimately, ultimately when you go to, if you, she might be scary to do it, but if you take a case like this to trial, I can't see 12 jurors agreeing that she intended to threaten the life of a specific person.
Yeah, I don't either.
Nor
do I see they don't care.
Exactly, and that's the second part. Even if she is guilty, I'm sure jury nullification will occur.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone's on that jury is gonna be like, I don't give a fuck.
Well, they know what they did.
Did you see the memes? No one, like
I got a cousin that's been struggling too.
Right. Like, R.I.P. to this guy, but nobody cares, bro. Like, the general consensus of the population is we don't give a fuck.
Because a lot of people can relate.
Right, you were at the helm of a dastardly machine that's out here exploiting people who are just trying to get by. So when you get folded over behind that, it's like, yeah, you personally don't deserve it, but you kind of do as a result of being part of this or in charge of this thing that's continuing to hurt people. So people don't give a fuck. So you think they're gonna give a fuck here when no one was harmed? Nothing happened. No one was harmed. There's no way. I would never, bro.
What about, could they also use but then again, like you said, nobody was harmed. Heat of passion.
No, because that only has to do with actually killing somebody.
Right.
But that being said, the your next thing is outrageous.
Yeah.
Is this bitch retarded? She had to know better than this. You are a grown woman. You're gonna say them words right after they just spent hundreds of millions of dollars to catch this nigga?
You had to know they was coming for you.
What? You had to know, sir. The FBI flagging any use of that phrasing for the next 2 years, bro.
They on guard.
I was like, guard! Right? Calling immediately for help. You had to know when you said delay, deny, depose, you're next.
She hung up and was like, ah, shit, what the hell I
When
do?
I do right. Next for what? Next for what, brother?
Now, in court today, the state requested elevated bond and very strict pretrial release conditions. Boston's attorney said the words from the mom of three with no prior convictions should not be taken seriously.
Yes.
She doesn't own or have access to firearms.
She didn't intend to do anything. She didn't actually intend to do anything. It was, in fact, a joke. There are defenses to a lot of these things. Like, a main defense to a threat is that you weren't serious.
But sometimes to use a threat, you also want to intimidate. So that is
No, I know, but also it has to be something you say that you intend to be threatening and that the other person can reasonably interpret as a threat.
Okay.
So, arguably, under the circumstances, you could reasonably interpret her saying that to them as a threat.
Yeah.
But did she have the criminal intent to actually
Follow through.
not follow through, but to actually threaten to do that? I don't think she did.
Right.
I don't think she was serious.
Right.
Like, I think she was just saying that because she was upset.
Yeah.
Which
is to intent to scare, though.
Nah. Again, there's the case for the specific state you're in. The case law will be very specific on what constitutes criminal intent to threaten somebody, and what doesn't, right? And that will vary from state to state. So I can't say for sure, right? But I would be shocked. Again, like I said, if you could find 12 people to say she needs to do time for this, there's no chance, bruh.
Girl, go home.
I'd be like, hey, y'all niggas can hold me here for the rest of life. I will never vote guilty. How about that?
Send her ass home, please.
And I'm a lawyer. I don't care, bruh. I don't give a fuck. Not guilty. Cut her loose, bruh. Cut her loose. You hear me? Fuck that.
But the judge was not lenient.
There is
Ankle
probable
monitor.
cause for the charge is written threat to kill or injure, conduct a mass shooting or an act of terrorism. That's a second-degree felony, punished by 15 years in Florida State.
This is Florida though, because they weird.
They are, but so that's an example, right? It's like you threaten to kill with what? How? Like, you can't threaten people vaguely, right? Your threat has to have not weight, but a certain level of specificity in order for there to be it to be even considered a crime or something that you can be criminally charged for. So it's like, I don't think the case law will support this, you know. I feel like if she can get a decent lawyer, he's like, move to dismiss this fucking charge. Terrorism? What are you talking about?
Wait. Question though. Okay. For instance, you know how fragile with the airport is and everything else, like saying certain words, like specifically bomb or whatever.
Sure.
The fact that this occurred with the whole
No chance.
Okay.
No, not just, you can't ban them that word phrasing.
No. I'm not saying banning it, but given the fact how recent and how
I don't care.
Scared that
I know.
they want to.
I know.
Okay.
They will argue that. That's what the government will argue.
Okay.
They will argue that she meant for them to that by saying those words in such close proximity to what happened, that's what she meant for the victim of the threats to understand, that I'm gonna do to you what Luigi Mangione did to what's his name, and
they can't take it lightly.
Right, and when you, of course not. I'm not upset they arrested her. I'm upset that they're actually following through with this charge. Okay. And they try to put her ankle monitor and shit like that. Like, are you joking?
It's like,
what are we talking about, for real? Like, all right, you arrested her. Now, plead it down to something that's reasonable and get rid of this fucking case. Do not ankle monitor this bitch and charge her with something that carries a 15-year prison term.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Like, what are you doing?
Fine or whatever.
Like, somebody with a brain can tell you that this is not a person who deserves 15 years in jail.
Excessive.
And honestly, this is an example of the system further fucking the little guy.
Yeah.
Because guess what happened to her? She got her insurance claim denied. So she gets her insurance claim denied, she gets upset, and you niggas railroad her into prison.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but I don't know how y'all see shit, but that doesn't conform to any construction of justice that I've ever seen.
For the people.
Like, for the people. That's not fair.
Yeah.
That is allowing a corporation to again step on top of the little guy. True. And that's what Bro's whole manifesto is about.
True.
Listen, I don't know what to tell you, but nigga.
President, I do find that the bond of $100,000 is appropriate.
Jesus, bro.
The status of our country at this point.
The status of our country. Bitch, hey, get the judge off the bench for fucking bias. What does that mean? The status of our country? So somebody gets murdered in another jurisdiction. Now there's words I can't say that become threats?
Because y'all scared? Higher ups are scared?
I don't know about that, brother.
Boston may not have access to weapons. There are concerns about online rhetoric and copycats targeting other healthcare CEOs and business leaders. Now, here's what NYPD's Deputy Commissioner of Intelligence and Counterterrorism said about the issue, and it's a sentiment shared by law enforcement leaders.
There are also posters that we've seen online and in New York with various CEOs' pictures on them.
Okay.
These
Did she post that?
Perceived threats, and it is important for everybody to know that we will take these threats very seriously.
Did she post that?
Under
Irrelevant.
Florida law, penalties for making such threats can land you in prison for 15 years if convicted. For now, the judge says if Boston meets her bond, she'll remain on restricted house arrest with an ankle monitor. She also must have no contact with any Blue Cross Blue Shield staff, whether in person or electronically. In studio, Aduria Chumba, 10 Tampa Bay.
And this evening,
You know what's crazy to me? I have to add this in here. It's crazy how they're taking her so literally and are afraid, but January 6th people are getting,
Listen,
freed.
I don't
When
know
they
what to tell you.
attacked.
They attacked the Capitol, right? They saw you climb over the building, throw shit at police officers, attack them,
Guillotines.
setting up a gallows.
Zip ties.
Right.
Axes.
Yeah, you tell me.
But,
I don't know.
They're good people though. But
they're good people.
let this little suburban lady with 3 kids get upset because her,
Because they denied her fucking health coverage.
She gotta go to jail.
She gotta lock her up.
She's a threat.
This is actually outrageous. I think this is a gross abuse and misuse of taxpayer dollars and the justice system. There's absolutely no reason to expend a single dollar to prosecute this woman.
Agreed.
Arrest her, be like, hey, cut this shit the fuck out or you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And either plead her down to something lesser or cut her loose. Do not fucking waste time. You gotta waste money to put this bitch on an ankle monitor. Are you fucking crazy?
And she got kids to take care of. It's bad enough.
Unless you have something else to corroborate the possible effectiveness of these threats, which is, like they said, she don't got no weapons and no access to weapons. Mm-hmm. So, what's she about to do? You're next. Next is next to get killed. And if we want to go strictly by what happened, next to get shot. So, she has no access to weapons. How's she gonna do that? I don't know. I just think it's excessive. And I think that most reasonable people looking at this can agree that there was no reason to arrest her over this shit.
Yep, agreed.
Stop denying people health insurance. Then you won't have no fucking problems, huh? Fuck out of here. You pay your premiums, pay my shit, dickhead.